Would any of you stand in the way of two people in love, committed to one another to spend the rest of their lives together in marriage? The answer is no. I'm here today to convince you that same-sex marriages should be legalized. Legal issues surrounding same-sex marriages in the United States are determined by the states themselves and not the federal government. As of 2010, 29 states had constitutional provisions restricting marriage to one woman and one man. 19 states banned any legal recognition of same-sex unions equivalent to civil marriages. As of 2013, 14 state governments and 3 American tribes had recognition of same-sex marriages. Massachusetts was the first in 2004, and during that time the divorce rates dropped 21%. Further, according to UCLA Law School, the estimated position or impact of gay marriages, estimated costs or the money that was attributed to the impact of gay marriages is $248 billion in over 3 years. President Obama stated in 2010 that he was reviewing his thoughts on gay marriage. In May of 2012, he became the first president to say that he supported gay marriage. While he was in office. I wasn't instrumental in trying to change the president's mind, but today perhaps I can try and change yours. Public support for same-sex marriages has grown steadily since the 1990s. Back during the middle 90s, it was estimated that 23% of the American people in support of same-sex marriages. By 2013, it's now up to 58%. I believe the Supreme Court will rule shortly in favor of legalizing the same-sex marriages, and in a civil right, their civil rights deserving of the same rights of heterosexual married people. The National Review magazine finds that legalizing same-sex marriage does not harm either heterosexual marriage, nor does it harm any family values. In fact, the statistics show that no adverse effects on marriage, divorce, abortion rates, or children born out of wedlock exist. The ability to bear children has never been a qualification of marriage, nor is it about reproduction. CNN recently aired a story about anthropological research, and that showed that the social orders of the majority of past civilizations did not depend on heterosexual marriages for survival, and that same-sex unions do contribute to stable human societies. Recently, I had the pleasure of interviewing 2 women that are married, living in Chicago, Illinois. They've been here at this farm with their children. They have 3 Asian children that they adopted. And these children are 3 of the most well-adjusted, adorable children I've ever met, and I've met a lot of kids. And they're so civic-minded. They're so polite, they love animals, they were here to volunteer and to ride, and just so well-rounded. It was a pleasure to have them here, and I had the opportunity, too, to speak with their 2 mommies. And they are both professional women, and they share the duties of taking care of these children, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job. So these children, from their parenting skills, have ended up to be just, totally wonderful little miniature human beings that'll grow up the same way. The professional status of the 2 moms supports CNN's findings that strong gay marriage brings financial gain to the local, state, and federal governments. And through legalizing same-sex marriages, it'll open up a whole new aspect for adoption for these people. There are so many children in orphanages in our country and in foster homes that aren't very good. And when these people, when this is legalized, they can step in and they can adopt these children, and they'll do a marvelous job with them. They're high up on the economic socio ladder, and they're good at what they do. And if you think back, throughout history, we've been at war. Somebody's always trying to conquer another civilization. So these men go off to war, and they don't come back. So who's in charge of taking care of the children anyway? the women are. And in today's society, women still bear the brunt of taking care of the children. They're the caregivers. They're the compassionate ones. So today, I want to urge you to work with me and support legalization of same-sex marriages, and so that their families can share the same responsibilities, protections, and commitment of marriage. Let me conclude by stating that what we already know, and that there's no such thing as a traditional marriage in anywhere in this world today anyway. So, heterosexual monogamy can even be considered unnatural in evolutionary terms. So, have we as a society evolved? I do think we have, and I thank you for coming and listening to me today. And we're going to have a question and answer time and a critique time. So, does anybody have any questions about what I've just talked about?
I have a question.
Okay.
How many couples are affected by this? Like, if it was legalized, how many couples would get married?
Millions would get married.
And do you think there's any negativity towards the kids being raised?
No, I don't think there's any negativity at all. I think that we have evolved as a society, and that the stigma attached to interracial marriages and all of these other things that we've put up with throughout the ages is pretty much gone now. So.
Almost gone.
Almost gone. Yes. So would anybody like to come up and critique my lovely speech? Thank you, Jan.
Okay, Linda did a wonderful job, I think, and can we give her any feedback as to what things she did well? Yay. Anyone have any ideas that we can give her about what she did well in her
Fabulous
presentation?
eye contact.
Thank you.
Eye contact.
And you seem to have facts and numbers.
Facts and numbers. Karen?
She seemed to involve her audience. She stepped up and got closer to us, so we think there was more of a connection there.
Made the audience part of the presentation.
Felt
Yes.
involved.
Thank
Involved.
you.
Yes, yes. And is there anything that we think that she could improve upon?
Here we go again.
Just keeping
Karen?
your attention fully focused. Other than
Attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had some distractions.
We had a few distractions with our animals.
And we did,
you
and
know.
I think,
Not her fault.
Not her fault, but, as a speaker, it would be easy for anyone to
get distracted.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. She carried through on that, though.
Thank you. She did a nice job.